So, I don't think anyone's going to actually tune in for this because most of my friends are doing the Empire Pub quiz at the moment. Which is fine, but I don't know, I'm really bummed out about not being able to LARP this weekend, so I don't really want to engage with the online Empire stuff tonight. I might change my mind tomorrow. But I thought I would go for a walk down by the riverside and drink some tinnies. Because I can, mostly. Let's flip this camera around while I'm doing yeah, I can. Come on, button, work. This is the view about 2 minutes from my front door. In fact, no, less than 2 minutes from my front door. This is the River Loon. Hey Laura. The Loon is an estuary, so it gets higher and lower with the tides, and it's a really cute river. Things are fine, just like my nails still have a bit of that polyurethane foam stuff on them, but like it's all off my hands now, which is good. Stand out the way while these people jogging go past. Right. So yeah, I'll turn my camera back around so you can see my face. Yeah. Bummed out about not LARPing. I think I'd be dressed as a shit Viking in military council right now, probably. I don't know. I don't even know what fucking time it is. And again, I never do when I'm IC anyway. There we go. Yeah, there'd be 30 of us sat in a very, very stuffy tent going, how do we make force weightings work? But no, instead I'm drinking misery cider by the river because I don't know, I miss you guys. But like I'm not very good at replying to messages at the moment. It's like, so Cole sent me this meme earlier where it was like, if you're going to talk to me, just assume that we're best mates and be fucking random and chaotic as fuck, because I can't be doing with all of this hello, how are you bullshit. Like, and yeah, no, I get it's like normal small talk stuff, but like, hi, how are you? Well, everything is terrible. There's only so many times a day you can have that conversation. And it's like, I'm never really sure what to say, so if people talk to me, if people try and engage me in conversation without an actual subject, I kind of, it's not that I lose interest, I just don't have anything to say other than that was the most attractive face I've ever pulled, wasn't it? So yeah, hints and tips for interacting with Monica on the internet. I quite like these live stream things. It's, as Teg said the other day, it's like I'm just talking about what's on my mind and people can engage or they can not, and it doesn't really require much in the way of effort because I can just ramble and say whatever's on my mind, and it's basically it's because I'm the centre of attention. And I don't have to stop and wait for anyone else to speak before I can speak again. I don't have Pokemon Go anymore. Don't know why. So this is creepy path to the secret beach on the estuary. I really like it down here. I don't come down here as much as I would like, rather. But it's quite pretty, and it's a really mild evening. I'm kind of digging it. Nearly there. Nearly at the, not quite the sea. Hey, someone's listening to music on a boombox. Echo. Yeah, more creepy path. Can I show you? Here we go. So yeah, it's just really nice. Quite a lot of the time you get teenagers down here building their old bonfires on the kind of beachy thing and drinking shit lager, which kind of sweet. I kind of like finding these places where the kids are drinking, because it's like, oh, I remember when I used to do that. Good times. Lou, it's not quite the sea, but it is sea water, sort of. I'll turn the camera back around. I'll show you the river again when I get closer to it. I'm nearly there. Yeah, of all the places in the world to be in lockdown, I think Lancaster's actually pretty good. We've got the sea. I can walk for 10 minutes from my house and be in the middle of a field. I can walk a little bit in the other direction and I can be up a really big hill. And then I've got the river here, and the sea is 5-10 minute drive away. I mean, I wouldn't recommend swimming in the sea off Morecambe because it's not rated for swimming. But, you know, it's pretty. Yeah, I was saying something to someone earlier because I was looking at some old Empire photos to help Steph find a picture of someone, and I saw all the watermarks on Ollie's photos had 2019 on them. I was looking and thinking, oh, these must be really old because last year was 2020. No, Monica, 2020 is this year. 2019 was last year. And last year was 4 months ago, and it feels like a lifetime ago, you know? So much has changed in the world. It's kind of weird. Right, here we go. I'm at the river. And then it all opens up. You can see, I don't know if you can see the wind turbine, and then beyond that is Heysham Nuclear Power Station. You know, attractive local landmark. That's the Loon going back up into Lancaster. And like shitty little beach thing. That's not shitty, it's sandy things on an estuary, a tidal estuary at that. So the water comes all the way up to the grass when the river's at high tide, and sometimes all the way up to the trees and onto the road. That's less good. But, yeah, this is one of my favourite little walking spots. It's nice. And yeah, I don't know how you've never been around here. It's one of those places you don't know it's here unless you know it's here. I genuinely can't remember how I first found it. Maybe when I first moved here and we were just sort of wandering the streets to see what was here, and saw this little path and I'm like, ooh, what's down here? And found this, which is lovely. So yeah, and I was thinking of making an IC video tonight as Kindra, but then I was like, I have no idea what she'd be saying at the moment. Like, Yagara? I hardly knew her. I don't know. Some kind of loud squeaking birds around here somewhere. I don't know if you guys can hear them. But no, I decided that Monica was possibly a more engaging thing. Yes, this is where we were witches for Rachel's birthday. Well, technically back there. Yeah, it's really nice. These birds are really loud. Okay, so there's two paths. There's one on the other side of this hedgerow thing that goes down the side of the thing that isn't the main industrial estate. But if you come down and sort of step over, it's not marked very well, but you can see where people have walked down it. And then you get out here. And if you carry on walking up here, you can sort of continue on along the river, or you can join up with the bridleway that goes all the way to Glaston Dock, down a kind of creepy tree-lined pathway thing that gets quite dark. Yeah, this is normally okay when the tide is up. It gets a bit airy, but the main flooding happens all the way, like, beyond my estate, close to the town, so this is normally alright. Or this bit anyway. It's just, when you get further up that way, then you start to get into the fields, and the fields themselves are flood defences, so they get really boggy, and then it spills out on onto the paths. Yeah, lovely. Our last remnants of the sunset happening over there. Lou, you know Magic Paul with the skein readings? It's Rachel, his wife, and he essentially commissioned Aeon Horror to run a little sort of Wizarding World birthday LARP adventure for her. It was a fun little thing. Although the day started with Paul saying he was going to the shops, and then Rachel getting a note saying he'd been kidnapped by a dark wizard, which I'm sure was probably very confusing. Yeah, I knew you knew them, but I wasn't sure. Like, I know quite a lot of people called Rachel and or Paul, so... Was that really the most wholesome LARP you've ever run, Cass? Because... I don't know. There was... I mean, Creepy Monastery was pretty wholesome. They said Mass in Latin 3 times a day. And we set Lucy on fire. That was pretty fun. I don't know what that means, Lou. Well, I'm glad my walk by the river is entertaining enough. Although The Mandalorian's really great. Why am I watching that? I've got another episode to go, I think, of what's currently released. I'm probably going to watch that when I get back in. Yeah. This is a nice place to come for a walk. Yeah, see, Kath, fun, sweet, wholesome times of, like, lovely, what were they, 11th century hermits, dressing up in white robes and with hoods on and setting fire to a young woman. It was fine. Yes, our friend Lucy was in fact naked when we set her on fire. Because we had this wonderful thing, this wonderful idea for a set piece wherein Lucy, who was playing the sort of monster of this horror larp, she was kind of an angry ghost type creature, and she was recreating scenes under which the players had tortured her. And so the set piece was going to be Lucy outside on the driveway of the venue we were in, which is called the Burks, just after sundown, stark fucking naked, and on fire. So we got Lucy out there, and we sort of made a rope circle around her of rope covered in paraffin, I think it was. And we set it on fire, and the effect was really good. We did a test run before the players arrived to make sure it was safe. Like, I'm normally one of those people that's like, yeah, we're doing it live. No, not when it comes to setting your friends on fire. Hello. So yeah, we did it, and we had to make loads and loads of really conspicuous noise because otherwise the players weren't going to actually see it. And yeah, so they come out this house wearing their white hermit's robes, and they see Lucy in the driveway, stark naked and on fire. It was a pretty proud LARP moment for us. You know, like, of all the LARPer hub cities, I feel like Lancaster might actually be the one that's had the most gratuitous nudity, because that's just how we roll here. Nihilism and nudity. I don't know if anyone's typing anything, or if the comments have just like stopped updating, but whatever. I'll turn the camera back round because much as my face is amazing, this view is pretty good. Just for people that, you know, miss the outside. It's not always Lucy who's naked. Like, Lucy has infinite body confidence, but we've all been in some state of undress at LARPs. One of those things, you know, in LARP, dignity just goes out the fucking window. My face is pretty good, but, you know, this sort of dying light over the River Loon is pretty nice. So I thought I'd show off the lovely place where I live a bit, because it's nice here. And drink a tinny of misery cider. There's a mango raspberry record leg. Oh god, it's really dark, you can't read the label. I can hear noise of like a hubbub coming from over there, but I don't know, it sounds like children playing or something. Bit weird. I think there's a sports field over that way, but they shouldn't really be doing sports right now. Whatever. Yeah, so I miss y'all, and this isn't the first weekend this year where something I have been looking forward to has been cancelled, but this was the first one of this scale, so I think, as I said the other day, it's real hard being an extrovert at the moment, whereas in a field with 2,500 other people, who will stop what they're doing and look at you if you stand on a box and start shouting about something. You know, that feeds my extrovert sense really well. And then normally by about mid-afternoon Saturday I'm done and I hate people and I never want to talk to anyone ever again. So yeah, it's just peaceful. If I do end up doing an IC video as Kindra, I might go into the fields over that way because they are literally a marsh. I might be able to take a video of myself standing in a decent FISREP of Breggers Land. That does involve hauling like my kit and stuff over there, but like I'm doing anything else tomorrow. I feel like this video would be a lot more peaceful without me rambling over it. Hear the gentle chirping of the birds at twilight and watch the sun dipping below that hill. Sadly, this is my video stream, so you get to listen to me talking shit. Ramble, ramble, ramble. Ramble, ramble. Is there anything else to ramble about? Like, there's lots of things I could talk about, but I'm never really a very good judge of whether what I'm talking about is intensely boring or not. I like to think I get it right most of the time, but I'm going to open another cider, that will probably help. It's a nice evening to be sitting outside with a cider. Yeah, there's definitely yelling coming from over there. There's a car coming along the road over there. It's very exciting. It's not actually that exciting. Nearly run over my neighbour's cat the other day. Little shit. I was going out to Bin and Bargains after finishing up work one day, and I'd come out of my driveway, and next door, well, house across the road, there's this black and white cat that mine both hate. And he looks at me pulling out of the driveway, and he walks along the pavement a little bit, and he looks me dead in the eye and walks out in front of the car as slowly as he possibly can, giving me shit eye the whole time. And I'm like, cat, that's not on. Just not on. I've been nice to that cat as well. I've given it treats even though my cats hate it. And sometimes when I got home from work, he'd come over after I'd stopped the car. He'd wait for me to open the driver's side door, and he'd wait there, waiting for a pat on the head, and I'd pat him on the head, and he'd sort of nod at me and then go back on his merry way. Very cute. But no, now he apparently just wants to die. Or is strolling out in front of cars in protest. My own cats. The novelty of me being home all the time has worn off on them somewhat, and they are now fairly ambivalent to my presence. Sansa spent most of the day sitting in the garden with her arms folded under her chest like a sulking child, staring at the house. And I'm like, really could have done with some company, cat. And she comes in at about 4:45, just when I'm starting to finish up for the day, and decides that is when she wants a cuddle. That is when she will drape herself over me like a tiny, tiny furry blanket and start purring. Well, in that case, I'm really glad to have helped, Nick. I live in a really cool place. It has its faults, as does everywhere, but it's quite pretty. I don't know if you can see, I don't know if the video is high quality enough, but all the water is moving that way, so the tide is still going out. I'm not going to sit here and wait for the tide to come in because it will probably be very dark by that point. I suppose I could walk on a bit and show you all the fields that are just round the corner. Everyone likes a nice field, right? Can I stand up? Oh, Jesus. All my bones just went crack. Don't know if you could hear that. So yeah, a little bit of... Oh, I'm trying to move my cider to my other hand and it's not really working. A little bit of nature and Monica rambling on a Friday night. Gets a little bit more open over here. Like the perspective is probably a bit screwy because this phone has 4 camera lenses on the back of it. I don't know which one it's using, but yeah. Military council of 1. Kindra is the whole military council all by herself. Oh God, could you imagine? She'd declare war on everyone that says the cold cannot compromise. It's a lovely place. Think how fast decisions have been made. That would work. Sadly, Kindra is played by Monica, who sometimes gets really, really terrible choice paralysis and just straight up executive dysfunction. So imagine Paul Graham would be there as Gerard being like, "Gonna submit your orders, Warlord Kindra," and she'd be like, what? I don't know what I'm doing. And then she'd yell 3 people in the hope that someone would say One Nation and like someone would come in to distract her. Yes. You do help. Although I feel like Kindra and Asenath being in charge of the Empire's entire military strategy for every single front. I mean, we get shit done. It just... I'm not really sure how effective it would be at certain things. we'd be very virtuous, I can tell you that much. Imagine an empire like that. It would be like when Monica tries to play Civ against the AI. You close all the borders. If an enemy declares war and you just give them whatever they want, let them take a city, whatever, invest really, really heavily into the tech tree, and then curb stomp them with tanks and nuclear robots towards the end of the game. Except in the Empire setting, there's no tech tree. I suppose ritual theory and arcane projections are a little bit like a tech tree. But I'm not really sure we can create giant mecha. Could you imagine? I really want to have a mecha. Oh, cool. Yeah, we get a lot of things done. No one would really understand what we were doing until it was complete. And then they go, oh, that's what they were trying to do. Meanwhile, everyone we love would be dead. So, here's a swamp. Found it! I found a swamp. And an industrial estate, but you know, just forget that's there. So the area I live in is called the Marsh. It's called that because it's a marsh. Yeah. I'm doing that thing where I giggle at my own jokes. That's terrible. Mike, are you in kit as Vico right now? So you can't really see if the light level's quite low now, but this is what, 10 minutes from my house? All fields. Field. River. Yeah, I don't know if Cole's still watching, but this is a pathway that goes back down to the bridleway, which will take you to Glasson Dock, and I'm going to go back to the river because it's less dark and creepy there. I mean, it's still a little bit dark and creepy because it's getting to that time of day, but gloomy is in voice content or gloomy is in light levels? Gotta be specific, my dude. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, no, I know. It's because the sun is setting. This is what happens at the end of the day, Mike. Yeah, there is a little bit of a delay on me seeing comments after you type them, so If I sound like I'm talking about something that happened 10 minutes ago, that's probably why. I'm going to be walking back towards my house now, which means it's going to get even darker. I'll see if I can show you my face instead. Oh, that's creepy. Tell you ghost stories. Yeah, the light levels are now too low to make a decent stream, so you're going to have to make do with my face. I'm sorry. Now I'm just like a crazy woman walking, talking to her phone. I mean, that's normal for me, really. Just get out of the way so these people can walk past me. That's normally how we meet each other at Empire, Mike. And the wind's picking up now as well. Weather, why are you doing this? You bump into me by the box and I'll be like, can you just hold this hammer for a minute, forgetting that Vico can't lift the fucking thing. If you ever want to pin the cardinal of loyalty, what you do is you get Kendra to hand him her hammer. It's a bit like when Thor just rests Mjolnir on Loki's chest at the end of the first Thor movie. It's quite funny. And the first time I did it, I didn't actually realise that was happening because I was so desperate for the loo. I was just like, shit, look, can you just hold this? I'll be back in a second. And I come back after I've been to the loos, and Mike is still stood there with this hammer, just giving me this look. And I walk back and I see this, and I'm like, what the fuck is Mike doing? Why is he standing in exactly the same position I left him in? And I suddenly looked at him and was like, right, Mike can't lift the hammer. Well, Vico can't lift the hammer, Mike definitely can. The hammer is not that heavy, OC. It's got mass, but it's not heavy. You go to Winter Camp sometimes, Mike. You do your goose whisper there. It's tough watching because someone needs to just be like, honk. So yeah. Is that working? Is the light level good enough? If you see it, because my screen is obviously backlit. Oh shit. Sorry, I ran out of phone signal there for a second. Yeah, so because I am looking at myself on a backlit screen, I don't know. Like, my video quality is really good, but I don't know what you guys can see other than like my creepy face. I do love Icy telling the story of why Asenath is called grandmother. Well, the other reason Asenath is called grandmother. Looking into the wind, you can probably all hear it on the microphone, which is really obnoxious. Where am I? Right, can you see this? This is path down there. there's a path along here, and I cannot remember which way I came in. I'm going to try down, but I don't remember walking up this little makeshift staircase, but we'll see. Also, thank you, Erin. I am feeling pretty good. I mean, despite being bummed out that I'm not in fields right now. Okay, not in a field next to Silverstone Racetrack, because I was literally in a field a second ago. Oh no, I did come this way. I recognise this particular rock. That's fine. No Blair Witch at all. This is all completely normal and above board. Just me walking alongside the creepy river loon as the tide's going out, with a can of cider that mostly tastes like fruit juice. How do I legs? Oh, well, I feel a bit better for getting out and getting some air. Cool, bye Mike. Yes, I feel better for having got out and got some air that smells faintly like seaweed. This is a tidal estuary, that's what they do. And ramble a bit about things. It's nice. It's getting very dark. Plus, you know, there was a sunset to watch. It was pretty nice. Well, the last bits of a sunset. I wanted to go out earlier and get the whole sunset, but I needed to eat dinner first. I hate eating is good. It's something you should do, and something that has become a little less regular than normal because my routine's gone upside down. Like, not in a dangerous way, it's just normally I eat about like 5:30, 6 o'clock. And I've not been sitting down to dinner until like 8ish now. So, yeah. I do like it here, it's very nice. Anyone that's been living vicariously, admiring my river, hope you liked it. I'm going to stop the stream in a second because I need to navigate a very, very dark path and I probably actually need the torch and coffee to do it. So, if anyone's still watching, bye bye. So, as I said earlier, if you want to talk to me on the internet at the moment, it is definitely better to start with a topic rather than just how are you, because the question how are you has gotten weird. So yeah, bye friends, thank you for looking at my face for a bit. Bye.